Hi, and this is Chapter 3 of Business English Writing in the Workplace, Investing in Subject-Verb Agreement. So we do continue with Subject-Verb Agreement. Here we go. So again, this course really revolves around the rules. You know the rules, you can do well in this course, and you have a good understanding of how to write in English by following the rules. So here we have rule 3.1. A phrase between the subject and verb does not affect agreement. Subject must agree with the verb. What that means is that, as you can see here in bold, this is the actual phrase, and this phrase you can remove it and the sentence will still make sense. But if that phrase is between the noun or the subject and the verb, there still has to agree. Does not have to affect the agreement, again, between the subject and the verb. So here's the example. The booklet, singular, on financial planning describes, singular, various investment plans. Now let's remove that phrase. The booklet describes various investment plans. Yes, it's a full, complete sentence. And so you can tell right there that the subject is in agreement with the verb. So you'll know this by removing the actual phrase, and you will find the subject-verb agreement. Rule 3.2, if both of the subjects are singular and are joined by either or, neither nor, the verb is singular. So if you have, like it says, if both of the subjects are singular and are joined by either or, we saw in the last chapter is that if the subjects, if there was more than one subject and they were combined or joined by and, then it is plural. But in this case, either or, neither nor, the verb remains singular. So here's an example. Neither the stockbroker nor the client expects a decrease in the value of the stock. So it's usually the last one of the two. So if this was plural, right? And I think you'll see that next time in the next rule, that this would be, if the second subject in the sentence was plural, then this switches to plural also. So let's take a look at the next rule. So again, this is 3.2. Neither the stockbroker, singular, nor the client, singular, expects, singular, a decrease in the value of the stock. Let's follow up this with rule 3.3. Now, as I just mentioned, if one subject is singular and the other is plural, and the subjects are joined by either or, neither nor, the verb agrees with the subject nearer to the verb. All right, so here is an example. So it's exactly the same as the previous rule, but now one of the two subjects is plural. So neither the committee members nor the chairperson was available to discuss the stock plan. Chairperson is the nearest subject to the verb. This makes the verb, to agree with the actual subject, it has to be singular. Okay, now you'll see this in the next example here. Either our manager or stock analysts, analysts is plural, review, plural, the company's annual reports. So because this is the closest one or near to the verb, automatically the verb takes the agreement with that subject and not the singular one. So again, if we would switch this from either our stock analysts or our manager reviews the company's annual reports, because now manager, if I switch and put it here, this is singular, so this would have to be singular and it would be reviews. Uh, 3.4, indefinite pronouns. And here they are, each, That means indefinite, meaning we don't know the amount, right? Indefinite, each, every, how much is that? We don't know. Anyone, how much is anyone? We don't know, so this is indefinite. Everyone, someone, one, and it. Again, even if it's one and it, they're still determined to be indefinite. Always require a singular verb. So indefinite pronouns, which are listed up here, always require a singular verb. Example, everyone agrees that retirement planning is important. Everyone is an indefinite pronoun. Agrees is a verb and it is singular. So if you would have this, since you might know everyone sounds plural, so even if you change that, you'll notice right away it doesn't sound correct, right? So if I change that agrees to plural, everyone agree that retirement planning is important. It's not clear, it doesn't make sense, right? So it's clear what everyone agrees. Another example, one of the stock analysts appears frequently on TV. One, indefinite pronoun, appears, again, appears is singular. Right, moving right along, 3.5, when the word there begins the sentence. Now, the word there has to begin the sentence. It is never the subject. The subject of the sentence appears after the verb. This is a very interesting rule. A little difficult to understand at first, but really the trick here is when you see there at the beginning of the sentence and it looks and sounds like it is the subject, it is not. Okay, so as you can see in the first example, there is right before the verb, so you would automatically say there is the subject. There is not the subject. Okay, so here we go. There are many websites that focus on money and finance. There is an excellent TV show on stock investments, right? So you could reverse this and change it and make the websites at the beginning of the sentence. Maybe you can do that for me, and it's a good lesson to change that sentence and flip the subject to the front of that sentence. And how would it sound? Okay, so I'll leave that with you, and you can we can discuss that if you want in class. And the next one, there is an excellent TV show on stock investments, right? So there it is. The is the verb, there is not, and an excellent TV show on stock investments. All right, so in this case, there describes more, you could say, the websites. So there really is, in this case, can be considered to be an adjective, or it can be considered to be an adverb, which describes the verb, right? But it's not a subject. All right, rule 3.6. All right, 3.6, the number takes a singular verb. A number takes a plural verb. Exactly what it says there, right? Don't change it. So in a sentence, if you read the number, right, that automatically takes a singular verb. Now, if it says a number, now a number sounds very indefinite, more indefinite, so we're not sure. And so a number will take a plural verb, right? So here are the examples. The number of investment clubs increases each year, right? Singular verb. A number of firms offer stock dividend plans. Here, a number is plural. And here you can see that offer is a plural form, right? The subject and the verb has to agree in these 3.6 or in these 6 rules that I just gave you. And this is how these rules will not change. They have been consistent for a very long time in the English language. And as much as we hear all kinds of slang on about how sentences and verbs are agreeing or are forced to agree, you will need to stick to these 6 rules when it comes to subject-verb agreement. And some exercise, so you can pause the screen here, and you can, in the following sentence, choose the correct form of the verb. Yes, you do have the answers at the bottom, but as you can see, it gives you a good understanding of what, in the first sentence, there it is, there, right? That is an adverb. It is not a subject, so you automatically go back to the rule and you know exactly if it is or are. And in this case, as you can see, the key is at the bottom. It is, right? There is a new stock option plan for the employees, right? Because the subject is plan. New stock option plan. You can say option plan is the subject, but really, if you have to break it down, the subject is plan. Okay. So you could pause the screen here and you could do this exercise. Now, just to give you some information, because this chapter deals with memorandums, this is a bit far-fetched as it used to be in good old days. We used to use memos or memorandums to write communiques. This is certainly have changed, but the rules of writing one is the same in business to write an email. So memorandums are written communications to inform individuals within the business organization. So now you can replace memorandums, or a lot of people even use memorandums instead of email, the word email I should say. So informal means of sending written messages internally, and state purpose of memo clearly on the subject line, and omit salutation and closing. So really companies would still use this format to discuss certain matters quickly, because in business you don't want to have too much salutations, which means, you know, hi, how are you, how's it going, what's your day? These are all salutations. And closing, oh, thank you very much for writing, see you soon, right? Or thank you very much again, and see you next time, stuff like that. That is closing. In emails and in business, it is still considered to be very informal to write memorandums, but still more and more today that has flipped, and memorandums or emails can still be written the same way as memos and still be considered to be formal. And when you get to the exercise that you have to do, or the activity that you have to write the essay or the rewrite the body that you have to write for the actual letter, what you have to understand is in the letter, right? Be very specific. So when you have to rewrite it, be specific. I apologize, in your request. Get to the point right away. We mentioned this earlier. Request specific action in a courteous manner. Again, informality. In the olden days, the memos maybe might have worked, but certainly we don't want to be informal when we write letters. Give reason for the request, and at the very end, yes, you show always appreciation. So if you follow these writing pointers, you'll do well in rewriting the actual prospective letter. Okay, and that's it. Now, please, I will post this, and if you have any questions tomorrow, in the next class, I should say, we can discuss. Thank you.